my fellow Americans, this is former President Barack Hussein Obama, and you're listening to the Mad Titan Podcast. Please be sure to support this young brother from Chicago, Jay Washington, because he's a funny bastard. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's episode 36 of the Mad Titan Podcast with me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington. What's going on, everybody? As always, you know it's been a slow summer. Things have picked up and they slow down and they pick up and they slow down. So I waited till I had enough news to at least give y'all a decent half-hour, 45-minute episode, shall I say. And guess what? It is just me on this bitch. I'm recording this on a Saturday. It's been such a busy week for your boy. I have not had a chance to schedule a guest. I've been trying to keep up stories on Mad Titan, the Mad Titan website, as well as Cinelinks.com. So been trying to do that as well as everything else. Shouts out to Underground Empire Wrestling. If you didn't know, I had a show again with them last Saturday, which is August the 10th at the time of recording this, and I won my match against Chaz Herrera. I didn't get a chance to record it for all the members of the Supervillain Squad Patreon. I apologize about that, but I got a bunch of other stuff that's going to come up on the Patreon for you. I'm also about to start doing a lot of giveaways to the Patreon. To John Mariano, you already have 2 DVDs coming. I've got copies of the Best of NXT 2017, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Jerry Lawler DVD. I got Mayan Season 1, Breakthrough Season 7. So many different DVDs and different items I'm going to give away again. That limited edition Black Widow hat from San Diego Comic-Con, the Marvel Studios panel. What else did I have? The special collectors coins from Amazon Prime's both all of the Expanse, Carnival Row, and The Boys. All of these are giveaways your boy is doing on the Patreon as members of the Supervillain Squad. I'll get into that shit later. For those who are new to the podcast, what this is, I get you caught up on everything that's happening in Marvel and DC, live action and cinematic universes. This is Barbershop Talk for Nerds. So I'm going to keep shit straight honest. I'm talking to y'all to the point. I'm not going to bite my tongue, hold back words, mixed emotions and feelings. Y'all already know if I don't like something, I'll tell you. I'll try not to drag it, just for the sake of dragging it. I'll tell you if I don't like it, why I don't like it, or why I do like it and shit like that. And I won't even play favorites. Because I know some people are like, yo, you just say you like this and you like that because you homies with this person and that person. I'm like, that would sound good in theory. But the people who I praise or even critique some of their work, they know me and they know I'm going to tell it to them straight up like it is. So I may always do that. Also, I got the chance to record an episode of the Geek History Lesson podcast with my bestie, Ashley Victoria Robinson and Jason Inman. And that was a blast. I can't wait for you all to hear that. What else happened? Yeah, I got some other major things on the horizon I need to come to full fruition. Then I will let you all know about that. I wish I could tell you about everything, but it's some stuff happening, so just stick with me. But like I said, let's get you going right now, my Marvel news. In the first bit of Marvel news, the New Mutants may not see the light of day. Is this a shock to anyone? Like, let's just be real. Is this a shock to anybody? I think I've been telling y'all this from jump. Once the acquisition happened of Fox to Disney, I think I told y'all this movie would never see the light of day. People were like, yeah, it's going to probably go to Hulu. Why wouldn't Disney put it out just to make some money? Well, all that should change after the fact Dark Phoenix came out and it bombed at the box office, and they used the Fox films to be the reason to credit why they had a horrible third quarter. So why would you put it out? Would you release it? And then why would you even take a chance and put it on Hulu, since you now own Hulu and it's an R-rated film, so you're not going to put it on Disney Plus? Why put it on Hulu and just not have good streaming numbers and then have to have it disappear? And then now it still bodes terrible for you. You get what I'm saying? That is not a good thing at all. So it's not going to happen now. But here's another thing. This is what has happened. Reports are that Disney is highly unimpressed with the film and believe that it has limited box office potential. So not only did X-Men Dark Phoenix bomb like hell, you should check out my YouTube review on that. It is on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/JAYWashington80. I tell you how terrible that fucking film is. That movie is bad, bad, bad. And I know people try to be like, oh, it ain't that bad. It's not X-Men Apocalypse bad. Yes, it is. It should never have been made in the first place. But it was set, New Mutants is set to come out April 2020. And they still have to do reshoots. And at this point, Disney ain't finna drop no money into that. Disney not finna drop money in the movie already. They seen the early preliminary cuts and they like, this shit is trash. This ain't finna make us no dough. Like, why do that? And I know you're like, oh, well, that just falls on Fox. No, because now those are Fox. The acquisitions are theirs at Disney's. So Disney makes all the sense in the world. It makes sense to not drop it. As much as I wanted to see this horror X-Men universe film, as much as I was pumped up about it when the trailer dropped, yes, I was excited for the film. But now knowing what I know, all the behind the scenes shit, seeing what Dark Phoenix ended up being like, I don't want to see New Mutants. I don't want to watch a terrible movie just for the sake of watching a terrible movie. I'm going to be honest with you. I went to go see X-Men Apocalypse and I wanted to stab myself in the throat with a spoon. And this is coming from a dude who had a tracheostomy. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's not going to happen. Now, as far as Deadpool goes, Disney is said to be currently grappling with how to integrate Deadpool into the MCU, and they're trying to find a way for him to have a seamless merge into between the Avengers and his own movie. So what they're trying to do is basically, if they bring Deadpool in the MCU, when he does Avengers team-up movies, he will be a PG-13 character. So it'll be just a little less violent. He won't swear all the time or no overly profane and sexual jokes. But when it's his own film, it's all, you know what I'm saying, all go. All systems go. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Like, Deadpool does not have... There are scenes in Deadpool 2, there are scenes in Deadpool 1 where it's just not all vulgarity, profanity, gore, and violence. So to put him in certain those scenes and interactions with the Avengers, it works. And anybody complaining and crying to him, oh, if he can't be R, then don't do it. Shut the whole fuck up, all right? Every character does not have to be violent and gory and profane and abusive and all them other sorts of words just for the sake of being it, so it can make you happy and it can titillate your fancy. If you can augment a character without taking away anything from the character, then fucking do it. That's what was the purpose of Once Upon a Deadpool, because they showed it can be done. So if you take that Once Upon a Deadpool type character and integrate him into the MCU when it comes to the Avengers, it works perfectly. So if you whining and crying, stop it. And if you ain't get feelings right now, you already know how I feel. Shut this fucking podcast off, because you already know it just ain't for you, and I am sorry, okay? Speaking of Fox properties, it looks like the Doctor Doom movie that everybody thought Noah Hawley was doing is not gonna happen, okay? The script is done. Now, if you don't know, Legion on FX just had its final episode, It ended its series. It was a great show, a great mind-bending show, a good, unique look into the X-Men world on the other end, and a lot of people were hoping, because that was done, we knew we were still getting Noah Hawley dealing with the X-Men in some way, well, dealing with mutants and Marvel in the Fantastic Four. Well, Noah Hawley says that movie is done, but he has no idea if Marvel Studios wants to move forward with it. This is what he says, quote, I mean, where it stands now, the movie is done and Legion is done. And I've taken a little time off because someone told me there was this word vacation, which means you don't work, which sounded really interesting to me. But I needed to circle back to them and announce that I would love to make it and figure out if that's something that is possible. Now, whether or not they already have a plan in place for what to do with those characters, or whether they're open to my kind of vision for what to do with those characters. But it's sort of on me right now to go push them, which I will do as soon as I come up for air. All right, so Kevin Feige himself has no plans of a Victor Von Doom solo movie. He has no plans on it. This does not mean that Victor Von Doom cannot be utilized. Now, they are going to do the Fantastic Four movie. We do know that Doom is the main antagonist of the four of Marvel's first family. But so I had to ask this question. I wrote this in the article. Was Doom a big enough threat to carry over to the Marvel Universe in a couple of phases? Now, granted, yes, he has taken out the entire Marvel Universe. And, I mean, the fact we're mentioning that magic and science and the quantum realms and theories go hand in hand, this could put Doom on that level. You could build Doom up for that. And I was talking with Jason Emmett and Ashley Robinson. It is kind of true. This whole next phase is supposed to be the Cosmic Galactic phase, which I get, but another cosmic galactic villain right after Thanos might not be a good idea. So you do need a gigantic level villain that is earthbound almost, and you have the greatest team up to try to defeat him. And by that scenario, when I sit back and think about it, it is Dr. Doom. It is Victor Von Doom. I mean, he can hold his own. He can outthink the Avengers at every pace, and especially since the Avengers don't have a Tony Stark anymore. Yeah, you have a T'Challa and you have a Shuri. Yeah, you have a Banner. Yeah, you have a Doctor Strange. But as a whole, Victor Von Doom is his own level of genius. And I believe we will see that type of genius if Kevin Feige is utilizing Doom in the MCU, which, again, I'm hoping for. Fingers crossed. But as far as a Doom movie goes, that will not happen. I know a lot of people are like, well, we need a Doom movie. You do not need a Doom movie, especially when we just had 2 movies that were predicated about a villain. Yes, Infinity War is Thanos' entire movie. Okay, the Endgame is about stopping him earlier, but Infinity War, so it's like 2-1, whatever you want to call it. So that will not happen. Let's talk about Marvel TV. Now, we know that the Disney Plus series are coming out. Those being Loki, Scarlet Witch, and Loki, God of Mischief, WandaVision, the Captain America, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as well as the What If and all that. We know those are coming, and some others. Well, also, you cannot forget about the Hulu ones that are coming. Ghost Rider, Hellstrom, and a few others. Well, according to Jeff Loeb, the Marvel TV exec, he said they're titled, now these are all considered horror, right? Well, he's not going to label them horror because horror is such a broad term, such a broad scope. They're going to be called Marvel's Adventure into Fear, which is going to fall under the Terror banner and also is the name of a 1970s comic series. Besides that, it is also said, that there are a couple of other characters who fit perfectly into this that we do not know yet. Now, this is series-wise, okay? This is series, so I know people will be thinking about Blade, when it comes to vampires. But again, Blade's going to be a movie in the MCU, and you're not going to do a movie as well as a TV show of that. You're just not. Not in this day and age. I know we had it before, but not now, okay? The question becomes, who do you use to do that? My perfect guess for that is Moon Knight. I'm really believing this is how you open the door to Moon Knight. And I think we might finally get that announcement about him at D23. So that'll be interesting to see. That's going to be hella interesting to see if that happens. But they say it's that and another one. And again, off the top of my head, I can't think. I'd have to sit back and just be like, what other one? But I know Moon Knight more than likely is one of them. Now, everybody been asking, do we get a Moon Knight series or a TV show? or a movie. I need a series. You gotta stretch that shit out. You can't just take Moon Knight and drop it as 1 2-hour, 2.5-hour movie and say, that's it, we done. Because that's kind of not how this is gonna work at all. So we'll see how far that goes. Here's some dope news, and for me, I'm torn, and I'll explain why. So Spider-Man Far From Home, as of the time of this recording this weekend, after this weekend, is set to become Sony's biggest grossing movie ever, okay? It will pass Skyfall. Skyfall's total gross was $1.10 billion. After this weekend, Far From Home will be at $1.109 billion. It'll be Sony's highest grossing film ever. What does that mean? We already got an $800 million Venom, so we know Venom 2 is happening. We got Andy Serkis directing. Michelle Williams is returning. Of course, Woody Harrelson, Tom Hardy. That was going to happen. Now, the next Spider-Man movie in conjunction with Marvel Studios is Tom Holland's last contractual movie. Now, will he resign? More than likely he will, because he said he want to play Spider-Man till he's old. But Sony can go ahead and do Spider-Man movies, y'all, without Marvel Studios. You do realize that. We got Spider-Man in this universe to help the story go along. But if they want to go ahead and do this Spider-Man Venom they're talking about slowly but surely, as far as Sony's universe, that shit can happen. And this is more than enough fuel for that to happen. This didn't have, the only person outside of the normal MCU you really had in this was mainly, I think, in Far From Home was Happy, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody else, you mentioned some stuff from Iron Man 1, but a direct character. So it's not that far-fetched from them to just say, hey, we're going to have Tom Holland, and he's going to go be our Spider-Man, and we're going to go and do the Spider-Man Venom thing, and they hope it encapsulate $1 billion again. But shit, that is a probable no. I'm really skeptical if Venom 2 can match what Venom 1 made. I am. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not taking anything away from Andy Serkis as a director, but I really am not sure. I know I might sound like very skeptical, and I know y'all like, Jay, you just hate on Venom, and I know BC will hit me up and be like, Venom was a masterpiece, and I'm gonna tell you to fall off a motherfucking handicap rap. I'm gonna tell you to go swallow stale coconut milk. Go and stick Vicks Vapor Rub up your anus. I'm gonna tell them all those things, but we'll see. Now, if you didn't know, Black Widow has been filming for several weeks now, right? Scarlett Johansson is reprising the role in the prequel film that is basically being used to introduce the new Black Widow. I can't remember her name, but I know Florence Pugh is playing her. I don't feel like doing research right now. Well, 7 feet 2 inch actor bodybuilder Oliver Richters has taken to Instagram and said that he is currently shooting. Now, this is what he said on Instagram. He said, Marvel, I can finally tell you guys, for the last 3 weeks, I've been in the UK filming my part for the movie Black Widow. This year in January, for the first time in my life, I started to join castings for movies. Who would have thought that I got to start with The King's Man and off to Gangs of London and now The Black Widow? If someone in 2018 told me my career in the movie industry would start like this, I would have called an ambulance for him. It has always been my dream to do something with my size. Can't wait for all the releases in 2020. Now, here's the deal. He said he's going to appear. Now, we don't know exactly what his role now. No other official details have been out. IMDb lists his credit as a muscular gulag inmate. So it's a possibility. He's only going to appear in a scene or two as a henchman that more than likely Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff are going to have to deal with. So we'll see. Now, if you don't remember, the movie also has Florence Pugh, who I mentioned, Rachel Weisz, David Harbour, and is set to hit theaters May 1st, 2020. Again, I stand on this. I don't give a shit. It is 10 years too late. We do not need this movie. Okay? We do not need this movie. Everybody's like, why? Yeah, it's the Budapest story. I'm glad we're getting it, but it's 10 years almost too late to give us this Budapest story. Well, by the time we hear about Budapest, Avengers came out, I think it was 2012. Okay, 8 years too late. Whatever. But nonetheless, it's way too late for this movie. Y'all can sit there and say you want it. I mean, am I going to go see it? Abso-fucking-lutely I am. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to see it. But I just don't think we need it. I mean, let me know what your thoughts are. You know what I'm saying? Tweet me at Mr. J Washington. So let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as well as the Suicide Squad, since they both are being directed by the same man. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it is being said that it may get another rewrite. This is from James Gunn's brother, Sean, who is the body double for Rocket, as well as plays Kraglin in Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, he was on the We Love You 3000 tour, and every time I hear this shit, I start tearing up, because you can't hear Love You 3000. If you don't tear up, you have no fucking soul. You are a dead human being. You are a husk. Now, this is what he said. I know, I think my brother may do another pass, in which case I would read that version. Now, what that means is because this rumors going rampant now, that changes are going to be made to the Guardians 3 to reflect what happens in Avengers Endgame, and that that the God of Thunder Thor has now decided to join the team. Remember, off of what we saw in Avengers Endgame, so James Gunn had a script written already, was already written, but this was pre-Avengers Endgame, pre-us seeing it, pre-him seeing it and everything, the firing and all that. So now you have to change things to add to it. But also, let y'all know, just because of the merger does not mean they're going to add a bunch of extra shit in there. And I'm talking about the Fox-Disney merger, because I know y'all like, well, we can get this character, we can get that character. Don't expect all that in Guardians 3. I think the most you can expect is the inclusion of Thor, to address what happened in Endgame, also to fix the situation of the Gamora, the whole Gamora town down. So I think that's pretty much what it is. As far as the Suicide Squad, Sean said, quote, I know that he's very excited about shooting now that I've read the script for it, and I will say nothing that other than it is really good. And I know that he's pretty jazzed about it, so I'm definitely excited to hear what happens next, but they start shooting soon. I'm not going to lie, I'm super excited for the Suicide Squad. I've been vocal about it. It's been no secret that I'm happy as fuck about this, and I can't wait to see what James Gunn brings to it. Like, let's just be honest, it is what the series needed. You have the old characters that are coming back. You have the new characters that are being introduced, and it's just bam. I can't wait. Let me go into some of the Marvel news. I mentioned earlier that Legion wrapped up everything. And, of course, it is a very cerebral show. And the season finale was more coherent than what you normally see. But it is confusion. So, this is what it could mean for the future of Legion. It could mean that Legion could have a future later on. It could. But let's focus on the main thing. If you didn't see it, David's plan. So, the season kicked off with him running from his friends into Division 3. And they figured out Division 3 was like, yo, you're the biggest threat to humanity, right? So, he wanted to start a cult. He did that with Switch. And they were trying to kill the past version of Farouk before he occupied David when he was a baby. And hopefully this will lead David to a better life. So, David does make it to his father, Charles Xavier's first meeting with Farouk, as do former friends, and the Shadow King from adult David timeline. Now, he's able to intercept his father ahead of meeting them and tell him his plan and help his father kill the Shadow King and reset David's timeline, right? Well, Xavier, he's confused by it, seeing his adult son, and also level down the news. That makes him willing to go along with David's plan. Now, before Charles can kill Farouk in the present, he is interrupted by Farouk in the future, who suggests us to have a sit-down where they do discuss the life David's led. And Farouk takes some ownership of the shit. He calls, like, yo, I fucked up your son somewhat. Like, man, I get it. Like, I was in his head and shit. Like, I was an ex that fucked his soul up. But, like, we weren't really together. We was together apart, but still together. Shit like that. Now, here's what it gets all through that and explain everything. He sees him like a son. But Farouk and Xavier have a truce. And then they basically explain that Farouk was like, he won't interfere with Xavier, and Xavier would stop his endless travel and be the father he never was to David. Plus, that convinces Sid's mother to not abandon, Sid convincing David's mother not to abandon them, blah, blah, blah. So it changes reality, though. It changes, right? Now, what happens is, David won't get adopted, and he'll be raised as David Xavier, not Holler. He won't know his former sister, Amy. He potentially won't meet Lenny or any of his friends from Legion Season 3. Now, that's one possibility. Another is that he works his way into David's life eventually, and, Charles will start his road towards creating the XMen, but he'll be married, and David will be possibly one of his few first recruits. It's so much shit that could happen, but again, it's all on hold, again, with this whole Fox-Disney merger and the end of the series. This is no sure thing, though, that it'll come back, because the X-Men are about to be reintroduced into the MCU, and they're going to do everything different. The Gifted is even done, so we don't know. This shit is crazy. I'm mad the show is over, but it does have legs, and it does have an end to the MCU, kind of like I was mentioning with Deadpool earlier, if it wants to go further. So we'll see what happens with that, okay? Now, here's my DC news, y'all. Krypton has been canceled. It just had its second season finale, which turned out to be a series finale. This is in part, they say, low ratings. Ratings were down by 50% from the first season. The second season was a boost. And I guess many people were not that sold on the first season, whereas to go into the second season, I was one of those people who the first season I was hesitant. I was skeptical of shit. I was like, yo, I ain't finna watch this shit. Why the hell do I need to see a show about Superman's grandfather? I don't give a shit. But then the homie Jason Inman, as well as Cameron Cuff, who plays Segel, check it out, see what you think, watch the show, it gets better. And it did. Anything you put Colin Salmon in, I'm a fan. Let's rock with that shit completely. So, you have that. Then you get to introducing a better version of Doomsday. You get Light Azad, all these people. The show progressed. The introduction to Lobo, which I was super hesitant about. I was like, come on, we're not finna do the main man like this. But it worked. It worked. But now that series has been canceled, and because of that, Lobo is not going to go further. Lobo is supposed to be getting his own show. Here's where things might pick up, okay? The Warner Television is talking about potentially moving the show to maybe just off Sci-Fi and to another platform, i.e. HBO Max or DC Universe, Season 1 already is streaming on the DC Universe, so that can work automatically. Or, here's another potential. It is a far-fetched and it's a long stretch. The Expanse was on Sci-Fi, got canceled, and Amazon picked up The Expanse. i.e., could Amazon grab Krypton? Would DC be willing to give that right over? We'll see. I mean, I'm sorry that it's not happening, but damn, I would have loved to see that go down. John Wick director Chad Stahelski is shooting action scenes to help out Birds of Prey. Now, when you hear the words help out, this does not mean that movie's in trouble. However, I've heard that this movie is not good, ladies and gentlemen. And this is not just from dudes. This is not just from men. I've heard from women too that this movie is kind of trash. Now, if the action scenes can help out, that's fine. But if the overall story around the action scenes are trash, then it's like, yo, what is the point? What is the point? But I'm waiting to see. I'm just gonna wait and see. I'm not gonna be one of those dudes that's gonna criticize it and bash it completely. Like I get the different take they're doing on it. I get all that, but I just want to know what I'm expect. And like, we going from Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn, to potentially coming back to the Suicide Squad, to not being in the DCEU. It's just confusing. It's just confusing as all hell. In other news, so Todd Phillips, the Joker movie is about to debut at the Venice Film Festival in Italy, right? And some, people are giving it critiques and praises. Todd Phillips has gone ahead and said some things about it. Now, this is what he said about his thoughts about the DC Comics adaptation. He says he's always been a fan of his predilection for mayhem, but he sees the clown for Hire's descent into madness as a way to make it a character study, which we've already said it's going to be, so that ain't no shock to anybody, all right? We already know he said this is going to be like very artsy, abstract, different, nothing like the comic books piece of work. This is what he said, quote, "My goal wasn't to take Joaquin Phoenix and put him in the comic book universe. My goal was to take the comic book universe and put it in the Joaquin Phoenix universe, a darkness that previous actors have had to live in. Joaquin was aware of that. I would say he's unusually comfortable in that space." All right, I just read that. When we read it again, check it out. "My goal wasn't to take Joaquin Phoenix and put him in the comic book universe. My goal was to take the comic book universe and put it in the Joaquin Phoenix universe, a darkness that previous actors probably had to live in. Joaquin was aware of that. I would say he's unusually comfortable in that space." The darkness, when it comes to that space to play the character. We've heard about Jack Nicholson even going on into the advice he had to give Heath Ledger playing the Joker, how you had to go to a dark, psychotic level to give that character what he deserved. Fair. Joaquin Phoenix is an enigma. What he can do on camera is dope. Fair. But to say you're taking this whole universe and putting Joaquin in it, putting it in Joaquin's world, that is the part that kind of loses me. He can adapt to that universe. I understand you're not making the normal comic book movie. I get that, but you are taking a character that has such a distinguished history and legacy and means so much to so many people. So I think that's the biggest thing. The script has leaked. And I will tell y'all this. I have a copy of the script. Have I read it yet? I have been holding on. I've been holding on to reading it. What I may do is do a breakdown of the script. Depending on what the response is from all the people, I may do a breakdown of the Joker script on the Supervillain Squad on Patreon. In order for that to happen, you need to let me know, A, you want to hear that, or see it, and B, join the squad. So, all right, that's just that. I have the script for Joker. So we'll see. Other news, Mehcad Brooks. Now, if you know, he played Jimmy Olsen on Supergirl. He has left the show. This isn't directly comic book news, but he left the show because now he's going to be Jax in the new Mortal Kombat movie. I just wanted to say that because I knew this for a while that was happening. However, that shit just sounds real weird. You left the superhero universe to play Jax? I got thoughts. I got opinions, but you know what? I just wish I knew. I wish I knew what to say. I wish I knew what to say. But yeah, so that's pretty much all the news I got for today. I do not have any calls for the Mad Titan hotline. You guys didn't call in, so call in this episode you hear. Leave your questions, comments, concerns, 818-276-6947. Matter of fact, you can leave on the hotline if you want to hear a breakdown of the Joker script. But also remember, if you do it, you got to be a member of the squad. So also you can email me at madtitanpodcast@gmail.com, okay? Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Yo, this podcast has been popping up on the comedy charts for different countries and everything. It's popped up on the Apple Podcasts, USA comedy charts, and I'm grateful for everybody. So your rates and your reviews consistently do that. Please do. I'm on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, everywhere you get podcasts from, man. You can go ahead and rate and review this. Primarily do it on Apple if you got an iTunes, iPhone, whatever. But get it up there. Get people to knowing about this shit. This is Barbershop talk for y'all. This is y'all for me. All right. Also, before I go, I want to give a shout out to every member of my Supervillain Squad Patreon. I appreciate you all. Shout out to Adelia Chamberlain, Akeem J. Brown, AZ Badfish, Brandon Buckingham, California Joe, DJ Adams, David Adams, DJ Snacks, Greg Morrissey, John Mariano, LK, Marcus Burton, Mikey Lito, Paisley Darts, Rudy Rueda, and Steve Tozen. Thank you all. I appreciate you. What else was I going to tell you on top of that? Oh, so let's do that. Get your Mad Titan Podcast t-shirts. Go to tpublic.com/user/Mr. J Washington. You can get t-shirts, cups, mugs, fucking mouse pads, everything. Go get that. This is dropping tonight, which is August 17th or 18th, whatever time you'll get it. My birthday is officially in a week. August 25th is your resident supervillain's birthday, okay? If you want to get me a birthday present, you can do several things. You can, keep telling, the number one thing you can do is spread this podcast, rate and review. That'll be the biggest gift you can give me. Get more people to know about this. Make sure people know about this. Join the Supervillain Squad. Please do that. That'll mean a lot to me as well. Join the Patreon. Also, if you're in the Los Angeles area, if you're not too far from LA, if you're interested in a good drive, I am doing my 1-hour comedy special Thursday, August 29th at Catch One Underground, 4067 West Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. Sean Healy Presents is doing the SHP Comedy Jam, which is my birthday bash as well. Please come out. Come hang with me. I'm doing an hour on stage. I got a bunch of hilarious comedians. I just want you guys to be a part of it. It will mean the world to me. Also, Saturday, September 14th, I am back in the wrestling ring for Underground Empire Wrestling, okay? That is happening then. I'll have more information on that. Here's the next big thing. Thursday, September 5th, FanX Salt Lake Comic Convention. I am coming back, and I will be doing a live episode of the Mad Titan podcast. It is for 18 and over. I am doing a live edition at FanX Thursday night, 7 p.m. Come out. Come have fun. All the talking, all the shit talking, all the jokes, the laughs you get here, I'm giving it to you live. And I already got some special guests confirmed to be there. So I want you in the building with me, all right? Make sure you do that. Yeah, I think that's it. I will holler at you guys next week. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all the plugs. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. At Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know I spell Washington. I spelled it already. The Supervillain Squad. Told y'all about that. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/JAYWashington80. Okay? Check me out here. Check me out Thursdays on Collider Movie Talk. Check me out on the Wrestling Compadre Slamcast. I am everywhere. I got a lot of stuff coming up. If you've been rocking with me thus far, trust and believe you are going to want to stick on for this ride because some shit is about to pop off. And if you've been supporting me and you've been a fan and you've been there and I love you and appreciate it, I'm going to need you even more when all this big shit is about to go. And so I will make sure you all have that special place in my heart. All right? I will holler at y'all next week for my birthday. Take care. I'm out here. Peace.